2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor sat alone in his tent on the banks of the Danube River. Around him, war. Inside him, stillness. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Around the same time, give or take a few centuries, a monk sat beneath a tree in northern India and arrived at a similar truth. But he said it differently. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Marcus Aurelius, the Buddha, 2 men, 2 continents, 2 philosophies, and yet, remarkably, they were asking the same question. How do we find peace in a world we cannot control? Today, both Stoicism and Buddhism are having a massive revival in the West. Millions of people are reading Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca. Millions more are meditating, practicing mindfulness, and studying the Dharma. But which one actually works for modern life? I've spent years studying both. And today, I want to give you an honest, clear comparison. Not to declare a winner, but to help you find what works for you. Let's begin with what they agree on, because the common ground is more important than the differences. Both Stoicism and Buddhism begin with the same diagnosis. Human suffering comes from our relationship with things we cannot control. We suffer because we cling to pleasure, resist pain, and spend enormous energy trying to control outcomes that are fundamentally outside our power. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. What is up to us? Our thoughts, our choices, our responses, and what is not up to us? Everything else. Health, reputation, wealth, other people's behavior. The Stoic practice is to focus entirely on what is up to us and to hold everything else lightly. Buddhism calls this same insight the teaching of non-attachment. Not that we shouldn't care about things, but that we shouldn't cling to them as if our happiness depends on them. The suffering comes not from the loss itself, but from our resistance to the fact that all things are impermanent. Same diagnosis, different medicine. So where do they differ? The first difference is in their view of the self. Stoicism assumes a stable, rational self, a ruling faculty or hegemonican, that can observe thoughts and choose responses. The Stoic practice is to strengthen this inner citadel, to become more rational, more disciplined, more virtuous. Buddhism, on the other hand, teaches anatta, no self. The idea that what we call the self is actually a collection of constantly changing processes, thoughts, sensations, perceptions with no fixed center. The Buddhist practice is not to strengthen the self, but to see through it, to realize that the one who is suffering is itself a construction. This is a profound difference. And for many Westerners, the Buddhist teaching is initially more challenging, because we are deeply attached to the idea of a stable, continuous self. The second difference is in their emotional philosophy. Stoicism teaches apatheia, not apathy in the modern sense, but freedom from destructive passions. The Stoics believed that emotions like fear, grief, and desire were based on false judgments. Correct the judgment and the emotion dissolves. The ideal Stoic sage feels only good emotions: joy, caution, and wishing, never fear, grief, or lust. Buddhism takes a different approach. It doesn't try to eliminate emotions, but to change our relationship to them. Through mindfulness practice, we learn to observe emotions as they arise and pass, without being swept away by them. The goal is not emotional control, but emotional wisdom, the ability to feel fully without being enslaved. For most people, the Buddhist approach is more accessible. Trying to eliminate wrong emotions through logic can lead to suppression. Observing emotions with compassion tends to lead to genuine freedom. The third difference is in their ultimate goal. Stoicism aims at eudaimonia, a life of virtue, reason, and flourishing. It is fundamentally a philosophy for this life, for living well as a human being in society. Buddhism aims at liberation, nirvana, the complete cessation of suffering through the extinguishing of craving, aversion, and delusion. It is a more radical goal, pointing beyond ordinary human flourishing to something that transcends it entirely. So which should you choose? Here is my honest answer: you don't have to choose. Stoicism is an excellent entry point. Its practices are concrete, rational, and immediately applicable. The morning reflection, the evening review, the negative visualization, the dichotomy of control. These are tools you can use today without any metaphysical commitment. Buddhism offers something deeper, a more complete map of the mind, a more radical transformation of the self. But it requires more patience, more practice, and a willingness to question assumptions that Stoicism leaves intact. Many of the wisest people I know practice both. They use Stoic clarity to navigate daily life. They use Buddhist meditation to go deeper, to investigate the nature of the mind itself. The philosopher and the monk are not enemies. They are companions on the same road, walking toward the same destination, a life of wisdom, compassion, and genuine peace. The question is not which philosophy is better. The question is, which practice will you actually do? Start there. Start small. Start today. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to Zenith Mind. We explore Eastern wisdom for the modern world every week. And if you know someone who is searching for answers, share this with them. It might be exactly what they need. Until next time, be well, be still, be free.